Let's take a look at our agenda for today. So I'm going to be doing some introductions, a little bit about what the heck I'm doing now in my business, but then we're going to move to I have a few stories, a few things to tell about what's going on in coaching today, etc. And then we're going to move to Susanna Verscheiden. Susanna, here she is. We'll introduce her more later, and she's going to share a case study. She's at Philips, and she'll look at how she's getting the top MT of health and wellness to sharpen and improve their coaching skills and apply them to support talent management, to support the talent strategy. And then we'll have a half an hour break, networking break, because the biggest piece of feedback we got last time was more interaction, both in the sessions and outside of the sessions. So we have ample room for you to get to know each other better. Then we'll move on to Ryan, who is back by popular demand. He was at a program that we held in April, and we just couldn't manage to give him enough time, which was really regrettable. It seems like we cut off mid-story, and I think he's going to pick it up from there and talk about personality in particular and leaders having good judgment and making decisions using good judgment, and having both of those feed into whether or not you really have a successful leader or not. Then we'll have another half an hour break, and finally we'll go to our keynote speaker for today, Gerard Penning, who I met about a year ago, wasn't it?
That's probably right, yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice place.
Yeah, he was emceeing at a Teneo HR conference in Barcelona, and we met each other there, and I'll tell more later. And he will be making the connection between the actual leader, the leader as a coach, and how that can impact the business, the organization, and its success. Okay, and then we will close the afternoon here, and we will move ourselves up to the top floor. And how many of you have been here before in this place? Have you been to the top floor? Yeah, it's gorgeous, and by that time, yeah, it'll be twilight, and the scene will change, and you'll see it from a different perspective, and it's just a really beautiful place to come for business or private. Okay, a bit about who's here. You guys. I was thinking about the fact that you managed to take a half day out of your busy lives, which is no small deal, knowing myself. And I'm thinking about, too, that what it took for me to get here, and the people who are doing things for me because I'm not there, and exchanging of favors and all that. Like, there's probably, I would guess, 5 people whose schedules were impacted by the fact that you were able to come here. So thank you to yourselves, but also to all those people. Let's look at who's here. These are the organizations represented or about to be represented. 20 companies in very different, diverse businesses. So maybe nationality-wise, how many of you are from the Netherlands? Okay. How many are not from the Netherlands originally? Okay, you want to just say where you're from, what country? States.
Belgium.
Who's next over here? Anybody? No? Who else had their hand up? Come on, you guys, don't be shy. What?
Canada.
Yeah, Canada? Over here?
Belgium.
Anyone else? Denmark?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. France. Okay, and you came in from abroad as well. Jana?
Czech Republic.
Yep, Czech Republic. So we've got quite an international group here. All right, a bit about who has invited you, and it's not all about me, but it's about the organization and what we're doing. With some of you, we've worked very closely for a long time, and others don't know us at all. Some of you people I'm meeting for the first time today, and everything in between. So just a short summary of that before we get on to the coaching topics. This is our back office team now. We have 5 people plus myself. Myself and Lisa and Richard are here. You've met or seen. Richard's in the back of the room. He's a student in international marketing, a master's of marketing student right now. And Lisa, who greeted you at the reception, she actually is based in the Philippines, and we have worked virtually until now, and we met physically 2 days ago for the first time. It's just absolutely fantastic, and I find it fascinating to experience what it feels like to have gotten close to someone virtually, because we couldn't avoid that. She works full time. We work a lot together, and then to meet them. It was a very interesting emotional feeling. So she's here. People that are not here, some of you may have had contact with Caroline and Tamar, who are running projects, and we have Kimberly, who's our newest person. I have met her, but she is based far away. She's in Aruba. So we have 12 hours between everybody in our team. So team meetings are definitely European afternoon. But not everybody has ever been together at the same place, same time. Okay. Our business construct. We do things, we have some things in common with other businesses, and we do things differently, the constellation. We work virtually, as you just heard, and we work globally, so we have people in our network all over the world. And that's the second comment here. Actually, we source on a needs basis. So if I'm asked to find a coach in Mexico City, I get on it, and we have a three-pronged process for doing that, which I find fascinating to kind of evolve through time. So my first step is to tap into somebody who is in my, I call them my network beehive. I have people all over the world that are very well networked, and we also really align on what coaching is, what quality coaching is. So I know that if they recommend someone, they do it quite carefully. So that is, for me, the biggest filter right there, recommendation of a really excellent coach. And they know the good coaches in their region. The second thing is that we look at a set of criteria that we have in terms of experience, level, industries, self-development. I find very important. Are they doing continual self-development? And one of those things that I find really important is if they're having coaching supervision themselves. So if they are coach supervised. And I'll tell a little bit more about that later, et cetera. A few more filters. Including certification or very significant training. And then the third step is that I meet with them, typically via Skype now. I just met with somebody who can do coaching in Bangalore, Dhaka. We were asked to source there. And then we have a conversation about coaching, and I just use my intuition. How does it feel to be with them? And that's how my clients will feel when they're with them. So this is our three-step process for finding coaches. So the healing is one of our pillars. We have some people from Hogan here today. So one of them is Ryan, who will be integrating that in his presentation. We also have Joan Jacobsen, and she is Danish and coming from Denmark. And Joan's company has been awarded the distributorship not only for Denmark now, but also for the Benelux, which is a very exciting new step here. Okay, passions. I have a few. Gotta grab my notes and figure out which one to share first. I am passionate about coaching, and I think you all are probably pretty positive about coaching, or else you're trying to get more positive about coaching by coming here today. But I see it as a certain kind of conversation. It's a very special conversation that's unique and different from your average conversation. And I know that when I coach, I need to get myself into a certain frame of mind before I start. And it could happen in a second, could happen as I'm sitting on the train or walking through the public transport area, but you make it happen. And then you walk in with a very open and extremely intensely curious frame of mind. I was speaking at the LEAD conference last week in Brussels. Now LEAD is a very interesting network, maybe especially for women here. If you're interested, just send me an email. But it's a fast-moving consumer goods network that is trying to elevate the positions of women in senior leadership in that industry, and they are attacking the industry and going for it and really trying. They had 40 members 2 years ago. They have 700, and they're growing like this. And their conference was really inspiring. So in the workshop, I shared a model that we have that I created. It's an observation I made after looking at a lot of coaching conversations, that successful ones, there seems to be a pattern that repeats itself. And other things happen too, but the pattern is that you have a conversation. I'm sharing this loosely. I could show it in more detail if you're interested. But you have this question-answer thing about a certain topic. Maybe they're sharing what's bothering them. And then at a certain point, you've kind of covered that. So you agree, have we covered that? Anything else? Nope, that's it. And then somebody summarizes in short, okay, why don't you summarize the key points? Or let me see if I've got it right. And you summarize, hi, welcome. Hi, welcome. We've got some seats. Can you guys help them find them? We actually have your name on something. Make yourself at home. Great. There you go. You're right here. Yes. Super. So the second step is that somebody summarizes what's going on. And the third step is that you agree together on where you're going to go next in the conversation. So you're contracting or checking in with each other along the way. And it helped them, they realized how much that could affect and impact their conversations, so that you're going down the same road together instead of, I want to coach you to do this and I have no intention of doing that, and going different ways. Another thing going on in the industry, I was looking for a coach in New York City, found one. Her name is Judith Glasser. And I mention the name because she's getting very big very quickly in the coaching industry. How many of you may have heard of the virtual network WBEX? Okay, they have virtual coaching conferences, et cetera, and they're, if you're an executive coach and that's your profession, you may well have been found by them. And she's launching she's changing the industry by her look at conversations. She's been doing research on psychology for 30 years and how you conduct conversations. And we've had some Skype calls where because I'm interested in coaching conversations, she's interested in the overall conversation, so we have a lot of overlap there. And if you want to know more about her, she's offering some webinars that are really well done. I had to just drop my emails and listen to the entire webinar because it was just fantastic. So if you're interested, send me an email. I'd be happy to share that with you. I'm coaching, this is my last one here. I'm coaching a young woman who's blind in the States. And actually, I reached out to her and volunteered to coach her for partly egoistic reasons. I wanted to know more, because so much is done virtually, I wanted to know more about how do they pick up on what's going on, the unspoken. They never see anyone. And here we are complaining if we can't have visuals or be face-to-face. And they never get to be visually face-to-face. So we're exchanging favors right now. I've asked her I'm coaching her, and I've asked her to write a blog post. So sometime in one of our future blog posts, you'll hear more about what it's like and how you can really sharpen all of your other senses, because one of them is entirely out of commission. So those are some of the things going on in the industry today. So I think, let me check where I am here. Yes, it's time. Hopefully you're sitting next to someone you don't know. That may or may not be the case, but find somebody you don't know. And what I'd like to ask you to do is to introduce yourself, share something unusual about your name. I'll just kick it off by sharing something about mine, because my name is so average and boring. There are thousands of Julie Johnsons, especially in North America. So when I came over to Europe, I was so happy to be a bit different. But the unusual thing about my name is that my father dated a Julie Johnson before he met my mother. And so then they broke up, he met my mother, and then they get married, and they decided to have a child, and then he wanted to name his daughter Julie Johnson, as she could handle it. So that's the story about my name. Okay, we're going to set up for Susanna, so in the meantime, why don't you meet somebody you don't know and share something unusual about your name.